will chant from verse number 61. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshirjuna tishtati Brahmayan sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani mayaya Tameva sharanam gaccha Sarvabhavena bharata Tat prasadat param shantim Sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Bhagwan, after giving the entire teaching, concludes here by saying that Ishvara is the one who controls this entire cosmos, all the beings. He remains in the heart of all beings and make everyone function, make everyone act. By the power of Ishvara alone, all actions and everything happens. So this has to be comprehended. And Bhagavan says, Tameva sharanam gaccha. You surrender to that Ishvara, sarva bhavena, with all your emotion, with all your personality, with all your feelings. You surrender to Ishvara. And by the blessings of Ishvara alone, you will attain supreme peace and that supreme state of enlightenment, oneness with God. So the entire teaching of Bhagavad Gita was to take us, lead us to this state of enlightenment, but it began with Karma Yoga. So performing, fulfilling all our duties, responsibilities as per our Swabhav. And everything was discussed in so much of detail. And this Karma Yoga, the karma we should fulfill as a worship of God. This will purify the mind and lead us to that knowledge through satsang, through the study of the scriptures, and then meditation. And in that state of meditation, the total surrender will happen. The ego will disappear and one will become one with that supreme reality. Thus, Bhagavan says, I have taught you, hey Arjuna, the topmost secret of all the scriptures. He says in the next verse, verse number 63, Iti te jnanamakhyātam guhyat guhyataram maya vimrushya tadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru iti te jnanamakhyātam guhyat guhyataram maya vimrushya tadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Iti te jnanam akhyātam. Thus, iti means thus. Till here, Bhagavan has spoken and it is complete. There is nothing more to be said. Therefore, he says iti. Iti means thus. Complete. Iti te jnanam akhyātam. I have revealed this knowledge to you, hey Arjuna, because knowledge alone will free you from all problems, will free you from all bondage. Knowledge has got its own strength and power. It is not that action liberates us, it is the knowledge which will liberate. Jnanam, jnanat eva tu kaivalyam. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyate. Bhagavan says there is no greater thing in this world, greater purifier than knowledge. So this knowledge I have revealed to you. And what knowledge? Guhyat guhyataram. It is secret, topmost secret among the secrets. Guhyat Guhyataram, the supremely secret. See, there are so many worldly secrets are there. Then there are something which are secrets in the field of science. But in this field of spirituality, the topmost secret is the secret of our own self. Knowing ourself, the nature of ourself is the topmost secret. Secret because though we are always with ourselves, we don't know. We are always, the self is not away from us. We are the self, but we are unaware of it. It's like something is hidden so close that we are totally unaware of it. And unless it is revealed, it can never be recognized. So the teacher, the scriptures are required to reveal this knowledge. It's like something might be there right in front of you, like a flower is there right in front of you. If you don't know what it is or what's its name and all, just by staring at it, you will never know. Somebody has to come and tell that this is called a rose. Then only I will know. Similarly, just by thinking and contemplating, one will not know who am I. But the help and the blessings of scriptures, the teacher, the supreme reality is required for us to recognize ourselves. Therefore, it is a topmost secret. And because of his supreme love for us, for Arjuna, Bhagavan revealed this secret to him. Guhyat Guhyataram Mayat Jnanamakyatam. So I have revealed. You have done the Shranam. But what is required now is Vimrushya Etad Asheshena. You contemplate on it completely, Asheshena, completely, without leaving anything behind. You contemplate on each and every word which I spoke. This is the most important thing actually. In Vedanta, the 3 steps are mentioned: Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasan. Shravan means to listen. Listen to the teacher, revealing the knowledge of the self. But the second step is contemplation, which makes that knowledge our own, which makes us understand what we have heard. If we don't listen, it just goes away. It's like food. If it is properly chewed and digested, then it gets assimilated with our body. Otherwise, it just comes and goes away. Sometimes destroys the body and go away. Similarly, the knowledge which we have heard, we have to contemplate on it. This is very important. And in Vivek Chodamani also, Shankaracharya ji writes, if one has done 1 unit of listening, then 100 units of contemplation is required. For 1 hour of listening, 100 hours of thinking is required. Then only it becomes understandable. It is so deep. It is so mysterious, so mystical that one has to contemplate on it. It's like our food, we have to chew it properly, then only it gets digested well. Similarly, this has to be contemplated upon. One has to understand not only what Bhagavan has said, but why he has said so, and what is the connection between the one statement he has made and the other statement he has made. What is the connection between those various shlokas and the various chapters, and how he has conveyed this knowledge, what he wants to convey through all this we have to understand through our contemplation. It is not very, the most dangerous thing a seeker does is takes the scriptures for granted. When we develop an attitude in us that I have heard enough, I know now, and if one has not reached the state of enlightenment, then we are stuck. We have been hit by the, you can say, by the iceberg then. Even big Titanic also then sinks. So if we feel, मैंने सुन लिया अभी क्या है, I know, then we get stuck. So we should contemplate again and again and again. Because the phala of contemplation is that understanding of who am I and abidance in my own self. If I have not gained that abidance, that means I have not contemplated. I have not understood what the scriptures are saying. So it is just by saying that, yeah, I understood and all, intellectually sometimes we grasp it, but that is not what the understanding is. Understanding is much deeper. It transforms the person. It creates metamorphosis. It changes, transforms the whole personality totally. So one has to contemplate on it again and again. Therefore, Bhagavan tells Arjuna, ki vimrushya etad asheshena. Vimrushya, contemplate on this asheshena, completely. Don't leave out anything as, oh, this is not relevant. Asheshena. And after contemplation, you will understand. And then he says, yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Then you do what you like. Now, this is a very interesting statement. Till now, Bhagavan was telling Arjuna that you fight this war, that is your duty. But here, a very important statement. He says that after contemplating and after understanding, you do what you like, means your like will be in tune with your understanding. At present, our liking is not in tune with our understanding. When our liking is different and understanding is different, there happens a conflict in our life. What I think is right and what I feel like doing, liking, if there is a conflict, then there is a split in our personality and there is a lot of sorrow in my life. But when my understanding becomes so deep that it becomes my second nature, then my liking comes in tune with my understanding. What I like and what is right are same. When what I like and what is right is not same, that means still the tuning has not taken place. Still our understanding has not gone deep. Still there is a split in my personality. And that creates sorrow in my life. So my understanding should become so deep that it becomes my second nature, that what I like is what is right also. It is said about Bharatji in Ramayana. Bharatji's personality was such, he was so tuned with dharma that even Vashishta Maharaj, Vashishta Rishi, his teacher, he told people also that whatever Bharatji does, that is dharma. That you consider as dharma. Because he has become one with dharma, that he will not do anything which is not in tune with dharma. That if he has done something, then that is dharma. You just follow it. That is the tuning which happens through contemplation. Many people, they say, itna sun liya, kuch nahi hua, because we have not thought about it, because it has not gone deep, because we have not digested what we have heard. It has just remained as a theory or just a word which has come into our system and gone away. That will not help. So all our mehnat of listening will become fruitless if we don't contemplate. So much effort you took to come here, listen to this pravachan. Now put forth some more effort and contemplate and understand and make it your own knowledge. Then yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Then, hey Arjuna, you do what you like. Then you don't have to ask me. Then you yourself will become an authority. Then you yourself will know what is right and wrong. You don't have to, you will be a guide unto yourself. Like Gautam Buddha, he says that you be your own guide. Be a light unto yourself. See, when we are in the dark place and we don't know, we ask for somebody to show us some light, and we depend on that person for showing us light. If that person switches off the light, we are again in darkness. But if that light is in my hand, in my control, then I don't depend on anyone else. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is a light in Bhagwan's hand, in somebody else's hand, in the teacher's hand. It should come in our hand, then we can move forward and attain our goal. So, Vimrushya etad asheshena yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. So, this is a most beautiful thing. This is empowering the student. The teacher doesn't say, you keep following me, keep on holding on to my Angavastra or something, but you be a light unto yourself. Yatha ichhasi tatha kuru. I have told you, now you do whatever you want. Whatever you want. He did not say this in the beginning, that we should understand. Bhagavan doesn't say in the beginning, you do whatever you want, don't ask me. He says, after listening to me, after contemplating on it, then after you have understood, you do what you want, that will be the right thing. So that is most beautiful thing he said. But then Bhagavan is so kind, so compassionate. He has said so many 600 verses he expressed. Then he felt that itna sara bata diya,